I'm not gonna hurt you. Tell me how bad the wound is.
Bad enough that I need time. I cannot speak.
What do you need?
The impact had come at 0217, which was when Dane was doing what he usually did at 0217, sleeping, in the rear cabin of the Sable Run, which was his ship and his home and the primary asset of his one-person freight operation in the outer shipping lanes. The impact woke him the way impacts wake people. Completely, instantly, with the body already moving before the mind had fully assembled the situation. By the time he reached the cargo hold, the breach was already done. A section of the outer hull had absorbed something coming in from outside. Not debris, the pattern was wrong for debris. And whatever it was had come through hot and was now embedded in the forward storage section with a particular silence of things that had stopped moving and were now simply present. He found her 40 seconds after the impact. She was sitting against the largest piece of what had been her own vessel. He understood this immediately, that the thing in his hull was not random, that it was the remains of a craft that had been something before it was wreckage. She was sitting against it the way people sit when the alternatives have been exhausted. Hair wet and tangled. A silver wire crown tilted across her forehead like it had been precise once and was doing its best. A wound at her chest that was doing something light should not do. Pulsing with a violet-purple glow that was clearly biological rather than technological, which was the first indication of what she was. He had been in the outer lanes for 9 years. He knew the species classifications well enough to navigate them. He knew what he was looking at. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said. The standard opening. The one that worked across most species because the tone carried even when the language didn't. She looked at him. Pale violet eyes in the dark of the cargo hold. "I know," she said. Her standard was perfect, the kind that came from serious study, not from immersion. "You would not have come toward me if you intended to hurt me." "How bad is the wound?" he said. She looked at the glow at her chest. "It is not good," she said. "But it is stable for the moment. The Vel-core is containing it." "The what?" "The light," she said. "It is what I am made of, partially. It contains what it can." Her name was Queen Sveth of the Third Accord, which was a designation that landed in the cargo hold with a specific weight of things that change the shape of what comes next. He did not, to his credit, react to the title with anything visible. He crouched beside her and looked at the wound and assessed what he could see of her biosigns with a field kit he had retrieved from the supply cabinet, not medical grade but sufficient for the basics, and what he saw was alive, stressed, losing ground slowly. "There's a medical facility at the Karev relay station," he said. 14 hours at my current drive capacity. "I cannot reach a facility," she said. "There are people looking for me. If my signal appears at a registered facility, they will know where I am before the treatment is complete." "People who did this," he said, gesturing at the wreckage. "People who arranged for it," she said. "Yes." He sat back. Outside, the hull damage was manageable. Emergency patches would hold until he could get to a proper dock. The wreckage in his cargo hold was less manageable but not structurally compromising. "You need treatment," he said. "The kind I can't provide." "I need time," she said. "If the Vel-core is given time without further stress, it can close the wound internally. I've done this before. A smaller wound." "How long?" 72 hours, she said. "In a stable environment." He looked at her. The glow. At the crown. "What do you need for stable?" he said. "Not moving quickly," she said. "Warmth. Quiet. Not dying from additional causes." "I can manage those," he said. He moved her to the rear cabin. This took longer than it should have because she was more damaged than the initial assessment had suggested. The armored gauntlet on her left arm was actually a medical device. He realized, delivering something into her system that she had not mentioned, which was either because she had not thought to mention it or because she had decided it was not information that required sharing. He noted this and said nothing about it. He cleared the cot. He found the thermal blankets. He made the cabin as stable as he knew how to make it, which was adequately. He had done long hauls in worse conditions and had preferences about what the environment felt like when he slept, which meant the cabin was, by his standards, functional. She settled against the wall beside the cot. Not on it, she chose the wall the way some species chose solid backing by instinct, and he did not argue with instinct. He sat on the deck beside her with his back against the opposite wall. "You don't have to stay," she said. "I know," he said. She looked at him with those pale violet eyes. "Most people," she said, "when they discover who I am, want something from me." "I want you to not die in my cargo hold," Dane said. "That's the full list." "That is an unusual answer," she said. "It's an unusual night," he said. They were quiet for a while. The Sable Run moved through the outer lanes at reduced speed, which was the right speed for something that had taken hull damage and was carrying a passenger whose primary requirement was stability. The emergency patches held. The cargo hold was as secure as it was going to be. At some point, he did not check the time, as said. "The Vel choosing. Do you know what that is?" "No," he said. "When a Vel-core is damaged," she said, "it reaches. It looks for an anchor. Something stable outside itself to orient around while it heals. It does not ask permission. It simply orients." "What does that mean practically?" Dane said. "It means," she said carefully, "that my Vel-core has chosen you as its anchor for the next 72 hours. He was quiet for a moment. "Is that a problem?" he said. "For you," she said, "it may feel like a compass finding north, a sense of direction. Nothing dangerous. And for you." She looked at the glow at her chest, which was slightly steadier than it had been an hour ago. "For me," she said, "it means I will heal. If you remain stable." "I'm generally stable," he said. "Yes," she said, with the tone of someone confirming an assessment. "I know. That is why it chose you." The Sable Run moved through the dark of the outer lanes, steady at reduced speed. The hull patches held. The cargo hold was quiet.